Miami's Cam Ward is the best quarterback in the 2025 NFL draft. Ryan, it feels pretty clear early on, and we've got a lot that's going to happen throughout this process. But there is a bit of a difference between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. What do you think, just talking traits, stands out the most to you about Cam Ward?
We might have to do a video about Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders at some point this draft cycle, Joseph. But I think the big thing here for me, Cam Ward, you just don't have a guy in the class that can make some of the throws that he can. And that is a full encompassing arm strength combined with arm talent, the ability to throw from different platforms, to throw from different arm slots, and he's a springy player in and out of the pockets. While he might not be a most dynamic runner of all time, he can extend and he can make some plays inside and outside of structure that I just don't think anybody else in this class can make, frankly, right? So if we're talking about a guy to bet on, a guy to maybe even trade up for, I think that's Cam Ward in this class because he just has a little bit different of an upside factor than any other quarterback in this class.
I think the big thing that shines for me that is it's improperly discussed often by the media and also by fans is the arm strength. Having the ability where pressure's bearing down on you, you're off platform, you're fading away, the ability to deliver the ball and it's still to have pop and zip on it to end up in the hands of a receiver to make a play, that's something that's hard to come by. And he does it at an elite level. He is in that elite category for being able to rip the football. Now, there's a lot of deficiencies, Ryan. There's a lot of accuracy issues. There is some risky decision-making, but there's at least been a year-by-year progression and improvement for Cam Ward. What weaknesses for him should be a concern when we're projecting him to the NFL?
I think he's late a lot, and I think he's late because of what we talked about in the beginning, that he can make some things outside of structure that a lot of people just can't, right? So he holds the football a little long at times, and I think he's late to spots. I don't think he's I think he has some anticipatory throwing in him, but I don't think that he's the most anticipatory thrower because, honestly, he'd rather make the splash play than take the check down, than take the easy speed out. Like I think sometimes he just needs to be okay with taking the solid play and not going for the home run all the time. That causes him to be very late. And I think that lateness also leads to inaccuracy issues. When you are late and now you have to get the ball out in a smaller amount of time in a more precise window, that's when your mechanics really show up to why you need to be on time and precise. And I don't think his mechanics are consistent all the time. And I think that's a lot of times because when he holds the ball too long, he runs out of time and then his mechanics get all out of whack. So I think the mechanics lead to better accuracy. And honestly, like he's a boomer bust player, Joe, because the bust factor is that you need to reel it in a little bit sometimes, man. Take the check down. Don't go for the home run all the time. He needs to be a little bit more precise and a little bit more patient as a passer at times, or else that could be his failure on the next level potentially.
It's definitely a gamble drafting Cam Ward because, as you just said, if he hits, this is a top 10 player in the NFL. This is a top 10 quarterback. He can be that good. But the problem, if he doesn't, he's turnover prone and he's going to be a backup quarterback somewhere or he's out of the league because turnovers is how you shorten your career very, very quickly. This is a bad quarterback class overall. This is not a good quarterback class. Cam Ward's stock is directly related to, one, the desperation of teams needing to find their quarterback and the lack of options. If we were just to discuss and compare last year's class to this 2025 group, where do you think that Cam Ward would have slotted last year? Do you think he still would have been a top 10 pick? Do you think he would have gone before a guy like Michael Penix, who was also a big-armed, risky player? Where would you throw him into this convo?
Well, I do like him more than Michael Penix. I mean, we're talking about the what we think the NFL would have done versus what I would have done. Like, I still would have been willing to take him in the top 10 to 15 last year, but he would not have been above, because, you know, I like Jaden Daniels a ton. I liked Caleb Williams, a lot in that class. Caleb Williams was my number one. Jaden Daniels was my number two. I think Cam Ward would have been at best quarterback 3, but he would have been in the conversation with Drake May. But after that, I liked him more than Bo Nix. I liked him definitely more than J.J. McCarthy, and I liked him a little bit more than Michael Penix as well. So he would have been a top 10 potential draft pick for me last year, but I don't think he would have been, at best, he would have been quarterback 3, but he probably would have been quarterback 4 in last year's group.
Folks, let us know in the comments, what team do you want to see Cam Ward play for this upcoming year? And also hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss out on more during this draft cycle. We'll talk to you later.